Rogers Rangers was perhaps the most famous group, but there were many groups of Rangers operating in the colonial theater during the French and Indian War and even into the Revolutionary War. These essentially were Americans who operated as light troops. They deployed forward, raiding the enemy, scouting, serving as flankers, and basically serving as the British's version of the Indians that were fighting for the French. So this very famous unit is being reenacted today by Jaeger's Battalion of Rogers Rangers. And this is the longest continuous operating reenacting unit in North America. They've been reenacting for 61 years. And in that 61 years, they've only had two commanders, John Jaeger, who began the company, and Tim Toddish, who commands now. They operate out of 14 states, and they're in 3 foreign countries. And they were at Fort Frederick for an encampment. This is not actually a reenactment, of course. The Rangers were not operating at Fort Frederick. But it's become one of the largest encampments of Rogers Rangers for the year in the country. It generally exceeds even the turnout they get at Fort Niagara. So that makes it a pretty important venue for Jaeger's Battalion. And what we're going to take a look at today is a ceremony that they had at Fort Frederick on Saturday night to commemorate their fallen comrades. And they're going to be honoring 2 men who passed away this year, Captain Jim Hamilton of the Mississippi Company and Ranger James Owen of the Ohio Company. 63 Rangers were present for the ceremony. They represented the Kansas Company, the Mississippi Company, the Pennsylvania Company, the Maryland Company, and the Virginia Company. The ceremony was conducted by Captain Bill Blair of the Virginia Company, who serves as the adjutant for Jaeger's Battalion.
James Hamilton and Ranger James Owen of the Ohio Company. Captain Hamilton was the commander of the Mississippi Company. In their honor, we ask that you remove your headgear and we honor them with this firing presentation.
Ready. Ready? Fire!
While we wait for the Mississippi Company to join us,
Ready?
I'd like to say just a couple words.
Hey! Rack your weapons.
Jim Owen joined the battalion in its infancy. He was a charter member of the Ohio Company, and as such, he served faithfully for as long as he was physically able. It was only until recently that he could not, and as sadness would give us, very recently passed. I'd like to speak about Jim Hamilton. I can remember when he first stopped by Ticonderoga and he saw the battalion, and he started talking to the Major Toddish, and asked him what he would take for him to become a member, and then he eventually said he'd like to form a company, and then he formed the Mississippi Company. And it was because of him that we started allowing members to be in the company they wished to be in, not the company that they had to be in because they lived in a certain state. And I thought that was great that he asked that we do that, and we did. And as you will see in his company, there are members from all over, many different states, and it is to his honor. I know I said you did not have to come armed today, but you will notice that I am in fact wearing a weapon, and I wear it in Jim's honor because it was his, and he asked me to carry it on. And at every battalion formation that I am in charge of, you will find me wearing it in Jim's honor. So, I ask that Sergeant Lobo please come forward. Sergeant Fuentes, please come forward. Sarge, if you come forward. Yes. And Chuck, are you going to come forward?
John Powell.
John Powell. John, would you please come forward? You get mine. Would you issue a ration to all the people? All those present, this is an alcoholic beverage. If you do not partake, please abstain. We do not require you to partake. If you desire... Almost forgot I needed my new mug, or my new cup. Awesome. Thank you. Gee, I didn't need 4 bars. Would you? Yes. Do me the honors.
I'm not sure the search is over. I do my best work. Strong? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we ever hold true to the legacy of Robert Rogers and his Rangers. May we honor them with this toast. To Jaeger's battalion we so honorably serve, to the leaders John Jaeger and Tim Toddish who brought us all together, and to the men, women, and children, past and present, who have comprised our companies and make us proud of living history. To the King.
To the King.
Put this in perspective, when I speak to Jim, he was, I mentioned that he's going in the right direction. He was sleeping more, getting harder to wake up. And he was dreaming more at the same time. One of the dreams he shared with me, he was on Lake George in a big canoe with his friends, killing a lot of French.
Yeah.
So to Jim, until the rest of his crew catches up with him.
Yeah.
Jim Hamilton, brother I never had.
Your brother. To absent friends.
For absent friends.
To the Mississippi Company, Jim, who could make my ears bleed, but had a heart of gold.
Bleeding ears.
Unfortunately, I completely lost battery power, and there was one more part of the event that I wasn't able to film. The native allies of Rogers Rangers presented Jaeger's battalion with a beautiful handmade war belt. This was made with wampum beads, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So we'll give you just a little look at that here. This concludes our series on the 2013 Fort Frederick 18th Century Market Fair. I hope you enjoyed it.